So let's be honest, finding a truly special indie action RPG can feel like hunting for a unicorn. The market is overly crowded with games that all promise a unique experience, but so few actually deliver something that pushes the genre forward. We've all seen countless of titles try and fail to nail that perfect blend of style, substance, and soul. But what if a game took the slick, stylish character action of Devil May Cry and smashed it together with this frantic, beautiful bullet hell of a classic Japanese arcade game? Well, that game is Homura Hime, and it's shaping up to be the best upcoming indie action RPG you're not playing yet. This isn't just another clone, it's a smart evolution of the genre, a project that actually started as quite as a student prototype. The feedback was so overwhelmingly positive that it blossomed into a full-fledged studio, Crimson Dusk. So let's get into what makes Homura Hime one of the most exciting titles on the horizon. Before we get to the razor-sharp combat, we need to talk about the world, because Homura Hime is way more than just a string of combat arenas. It's a world completely soaked in Japanese folklore and aesthetics. In this setting, we play as the protagonist Homura Hime, an exorcist on a divine mission. In this world, humans and demons coexist, but it's not exactly a peaceful arrangement. When a soul harbors intense emotions and deep regrets as they die, they can transform into incredibly powerful beings called archdemons. These archdemons then corrupt the world around them, spawning lesser demons that are pure primal instinct. Now, overall, facing this chaos that threatens to ruin everything, the High Priestess is forced to play her trump card, the strongest exorcist, a warrior known as the Flame Princess, Homura Hime. That's where we come in, because just a little tidbit of lore for all of my fans, all of the people who want to know like a little bit of history, but I did a little bit of translation, and Homura Hime actually translates to Japanese as the Flame Princess, a title that reflects not just the red hair and the fiery characteristics, but a destiny that seems completely tied to the demonic threat that she was born to purify. Her quest is to hunt down, defeat some powerful, ridiculous demons who are the source of all this corruption, but she is not going at it alone. Just like most other games out there in the world, she does have a sidekick by the name of Anne, a loyal companion who basically provides a guidance and helps tell the story. Basically, for all of you, think like Navi from Zelda or Paimon from Genshin Impact. The plot does promise more than a simple good versus evil story. It's a deeper journey to uncover the truth behind why these archdemons even exist, and even the secrets of Homura Hime's own past. But what turns a soul into an archdemon? What are their so-called deviant emotions? These are the questions driving the narrative, hinting at a story with the kind of emotional and psychological depth you find in the best anime that you could find. Alright, let's get to the main event, because the biggest thing about this game is the combat. You can see so many different games packed into this with all of the inspirations, and the devs clearly understand what makes action games so fun. The best comparison I can give is the combat and flair of Nier Automata. At its core, Homura Hime is a high-speed 3D character action game that just rewards you for playing aggressively. Homura has plenty of different fighting styles with her katana, and when you see a good judgment cut that looks like it came straight from Virgil, it really just scratches that itch. If you know, you know. But where it really carves its own path is how it fuses that hack and slash with intense 3D bullet hell mechanics, because each combat encounter puts you in an instance where the areas are completely blocked off and you must finish your enemies to proceed. Picture this, right? You're in the middle of some perfect combo and all of a sudden everything just flows, man. It's this constant thrilling dance between offense and defense. The combat is built for precision, but the parry system is by far one of the most forgivable I've seen in a video game. You can spam a parry as long as it's timed well, which fits the overall design of the game perfectly, since enemies will attack all at once with multiple rows of attacks. Parrying gives you that mobility you need to readjust yourself. Along with the fighting, we also get plenty of aerial platforming sections, and then when that fight is done, you even get a nice point system system to see how well you did, encouraging you to master every encounter. You know what makes or breaks a great action game? The bosses. And Homura Hime seems to get that, because later at the end of the demo, I came across a fog door and the PTSD of Dark Souls ran through my brain. I knew it was about to be on like Donkey Kong, because the bosses aren't just bigger enemies, they are the core of the story, each one an archdemon born from twisted emotions. You even get a cool cinematic sequence during the mini boss fight that is pretty badass, and you can actually get that same sequence towards the end of the final boss fight of the demo. Now, speaking of the boss fight, right, we have to talk about the game's first playable demo ends in this fight with an archdemon by the name of Agasa. The fight against her was intense and fast-paced. I really enjoyed it. Basically, it was testing my reflexes and how well that you are good at parrying, and honestly, I really enjoyed that boss fight. What makes it so creepy is that Agasa looks like a young girl, mixing that innocence with raw demonic power. The demo actually ends quite on a cliffhanger to that fight, making me want to play more. The devs really did a good job at making sure that, hey, let's hook the players in. Other enemies are pulled from well-known figures in Japanese mythology. We've seen glimpses of enemies inspired by the Gashadokuro, a giant skeleton born from the grudges of people who starved to death. Drawing from these legends gives the enemies a death you just don't get from generic monsters. As you fight, you're not just chipping away at some health bar, you're basically confronting a soul that is twisted by regret, a theme that promises to make every victory feel earned, and maybe even a little tragic. So immediately upon entering the demo, the visuals are quite good. The anime aesthetic is really good and always appealing to the eyes. The game's visual style is absolutely stunning, perfectly capturing the expressive character models and vibrant look of the medium. And the in-game cutscenes even have that flair of a visual novel, and it's not just about having a cel-shaded art style. The game embodies the spirit of anime. The main character, Homura Hime, moves with a natural flair, her fiery hair trailing behind her as she slashes and dashes her way through anything. Now, the environments themselves are a gorgeous mix of serene nature with this tad bit of haunting decay all around, and you'll notice that with the miasma that the enemies kind of give off. Now, the first stage is the Arashino, which is the perfect example. It's a place surrounded by this lush greenery, but the ground is littered with these, I believe they're flower graves, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, it just has this feeling of this powerful feeling of sadness and unease. To top it all off, the developers brought in quite a talented cast of Japanese voice actors. I actually found this out after my time playing the game and getting my footage for it, but the fact that the demo was subbed to give us that authentic sense of how the characters are meant to sound. Homura Hime is voiced by Tomoe Kusunoki, and her companion Anne is voiced by Manaka Iwami. Hearing these characters speak in their native language performed by seasoned pros adds an incredible layer of authenticity that our fans are going to love. This is a game that just doesn't want to look like an anime, it wants to feel like an anime. And when I say talented voice actresses, Tomoe Kusunoki is known for playing quite a few characters in anime, and even some games like the brand new Blue Star Resonance, Sword Art Online, and then we have somebody like Manaka Iwami, who is known for like doing her Fruits Bastics and Oshino Ko performances and many more. So they got a star-studded cast. But what happens when you put it all together? What do you get? You get a game that's confidently blending the high skill action of titles like Bayonetta and Nier with the beautiful chaotic dance of some 3D bullet hell. You get a world steeped in the rich history of Japanese folklore with a story that promises real emotional depth, and it's all wrapped up in a stunning, authentic anime package, complete with some professional Japanese voice acting. From its humble beginnings as a solo student project to its current form as a highly anticipated indie title, Homura Hime has been driven by a single passionate vision. Developer Crimson Dust and publisher Playism are building something that feels familiar in all the right ways, but refreshingly new in its execution. With the release planned for PC via Steam this winter, this is without a doubt one of the most exciting action RPGs on the horizon. It's ambitious, it's stylish, and it has all the ingredients of having a nice viral hit. But that's what I think. I want to hear from you, Outcast. What do you think of Homura Hime? Are you a fan of bullet hell, character actions, or both? Is this a kind of action RPG that you've been waiting for? Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to stay up to date on some of the most promising upcoming indie RPGs, then definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this episode for more. And as always, my Outcast, I want you to stay safe out there. This has been your host, KSDTV, signing out. Peace.